Today is Monday, and this is going to be the busiest week so far in the trash pickup business, I think since I've started it. So of course every morning that we do trash, Monday and Tuesday, we've got to get everything ready and packed up. Something in this messed up. And unfortunately, they don't sell these anymore, the Ryobi garage door openers. But I've got a Bluetooth speaker that I listen to all the time, connected to it, and the fans all still work. There's just something in the belt, and I haven't cared enough to go pull it down. So that's why I'm opening the door manually. We also finally had a bit of a cold snap. It is about 50, I think, right now. And then tomorrow, when we're picking up trash, I think it's gonna be in the 30s or 40s. So when we get started in the morning, there's a couple of things from the house to load. We've got all the waters and like liquid IVs and, you know, drink additives to get us through the day. That's more important in the summer than the winter, but we still like to have them in the winter. So I always pack a cooler every morning of water and bring that out. Always make sure there's clean gloves. These blue ones are my winter gloves. They have a little bit of a lining on them. It's real important when you're holding on and the wind's cutting through. When you're holding on to the back of the truck, riding on it, and the wind's cutting through, those things really help. This plug goes in the beginning of every morning. That plug also comes out at the end of every day when we clean the truck. You wouldn't want to keep it in there because if it rained during the middle of the night, your hopper would be completely full of water, and then you'd have to dump it, you know, real early in the morning or just deal with it, and neither of those is a good option. So you always take that plug out. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. This isn't anything really special. It's just some automatic transmission fluid, some engine oil, a little wrench to tighten some stuff up. This is just a little moisture absorber OBD2 scanner that I keep in all my vehicles. It's only like 20 bucks off Amazon, but this is really good. If anything happens on the road, I can always plug that in and get a little bit better idea of what's going on in the truck, because those codes will usually point you in the direction of what is malfunctioning. We've got trash pickup Monday and Tuesday. We have an event for some kids at a I guess it's a daycare center is what you call it. They've got toddlers all the way up through VPK, which is voluntary pre-K. That's Thursday. Wednesday, we have to clean the truck inside and out for the event at the daycare center Thursday. Friday, we have an event at a local elementary school. And then Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be doing our customer appreciation weekend. Last year, we got these cookies from Costco and everybody loved them. We put a magnet and a little thank you note on. We had 100 and something customers last year. So Kendall and I went and drove around and hand delivered each one. We've got too many customers to do that now. The place I used to go to a lot for mower blades and belts and, you know, supplies here and there, he's letting me use his parking lot. So we're driving the trucks up there. I've got to clean the work truck. I've got to clean the garbage truck. I got to make sure the tires are shining. That's all going to be Wednesday. And then Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be handing those out to customers as they come. But anyways, figured you guys might get a kick out of a week like this, so that's what today's video is going to be about. And I don't think I specified, these two are for the folks at the landfill. We've got the ladies in the weigh station, and then we're going to drop this one off for them to give to the guys up on the hill. There was one time some guy got so mad at me. I tell Kendall how to back up, and a lot of times the guys in the dozers will help. Well, this time there wasn't. The guy in the dozer was way off in the hill pushing trash around, and I couldn't go one way because there was a huge pile of trash. The Isuzu doesn't have great ground clearance, and everything sinks at the landfill. So if there's a mound of like 8 inches of trash, I'm not putting us over it because my gas tank is one of the lowest points back there. I'm not messing around with that. So we couldn't go that way. And then towards the other side, there was a whole pile of junk that hadn't been smoothed out. So we went in the middle as far back as we could before we started getting into more trash, and we dumped, and it was on the mulch. And never in the year and a half we've been going has anyone said, just keep going back and don't dump on the mulch. He was so mad at me, and then I started trying to brush the stuff off of the mulch, and he waved me away. He was real mad. So anyways, hopefully this makes up for it. Maybe not, but I don't know. But before we go any further, we need to address a few negative comments I've gotten that I've decided to take to heart. There are some folks who are not happy with how often I talk about Jobber, the home service business software that I use to run my entire company, and without, I would probably have a mental or nervous breakdown, or possibly both. Some of you folks just don't like hearing about it once a month or so. So I've made a decision, the decision to stop talking about Jobber completely on this channel. I'm not going to focus on how helpful they are for the business, how much time they save me for the business, but instead, I have decided to fully embrace all of the promotional opportunities that I get pretty much every single day for products that you will never want to buy, for products that have nothing to do with what you watch on this channel, and for products that I can't vouch for how good they are, but they'll pay me some decent money to promote. And I'm proud to say today's video is sponsored by P-Relax. P-Relax is the only brand of disposable urine bags that I trust when I'm in my trash truck and can't get away to a bathroom break. P-Relax. You can find yours in the Amazon link in the description. And folks, this is only the beginning. I'm talking about things that have nothing to do with the channel. Camping supplies, pet products, energy drinks, beef sticks, things that I will have to shoehorn into this video in the most awkward and obviously promotional way possible. And I'm really excited for all the feedback of folks who don't like listening about Jobber or who can't skip forward a few seconds on the timeline. So thanks for all the feedback, and I'm really excited for this new chapter in Baker County Trash Pickup. So I had to make that a little silly to prove my point, and hopefully I did. But at the end of the day, if I've got a company who's been working with me for 2 or 3 years like Jobber does, and it's a product that I use literally for every aspect of the business, so I can tell you, here's how it worked for me, maybe it'll work for you, and then let you, have a free trial and decide on your own. I would much rather prefer to do that than what I see some channels do where they say, man, it sure does take a lot of energy running this trash route. That's why I'm so thankful I partnered with this energy drink so I can have the stamina to get through the day. Like, that to me is a lot worse than saying, here's a product I use all the time. Let's talk about it. And just like the link to the P-Relax that you'll find in the description, joking aside, that is a product I use in the garbage truck. When you gotta go and you're not near a bathroom, use P-Relax. But there'll be a link in the description for Jobber as well. They actually have a Black Friday sale going on now until the 28th of this month. You can get 20 to 40% off depending on what kind of plan that you want. You can find more details at the link in the description, or you can always shoot me an email. I had somebody ask me the other day who is new on Jobber, say, hey, how do you set up trash stops in Jobber? So I was able to walk them through that. Feel free to shoot me an email. Since we're talking Black Friday, I can't not talk about my boy Mike Andes. Once or twice a year, he'll always do some really big presentation. It's always free, and you always get not only a ton of knowledge, but this year he's giving out some goodies. He says they're worth almost $600. I don't know what that's going to be. I think he's giving away some free books. That's what he's mentioned. I would assume he'd probably be giving away some kind of course, maybe some digital assets like flyers or postcards or something that you can use in your home service business. I honestly have no clue. I'm just making stuff up. But if you want to sign up for that, it's going to be on Black Friday, November 28th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I believe this is also going to serve as a book launch for his new book, but he's talking about giving away 100,000 free books, so maybe the free book is part of what you're getting too. I'm going to be there just because any instruction I've ever gotten from him has always helped the business. And hey, if he's giving away $600 in a secret gift, well, all the better. The link to register for his event is going to be in the description and the first pinned comment as well. We got somebody who wanted to cancel service, but their can isn't out, so we're gonna have to go on their property. This is a client we've had some interactions with in the past. I think the most fair way for me to say this for both parties is that the main issue was a difference in understanding in how trash pickup worked. I'll just get a close up there. The gate is definitely shut when I leave. This individual was under the assumption that if they paid, you know, $36 for a month of trash pickup, and during that month they forgot to put the can out 2 or 3 times, that those 2 or 3 weeks would then be a credit that would carry over to other months. They went 2 or 3 weeks without paying 1 month. They paid the full amount that was due, and then when the card ran again a week or 2 later for the next month, they got a full month billing. They didn't understand why that had happened. I'm not saying that it's impossible for a trash company to break it down on a weekly basis. I'm just saying that's not standard, and it's not something we're going to do. The amount of minutia and administrative requirement to break down everybody's monthly bill into weeks and figure out, okay, these people didn't have the trash out this week, so then we're going to give them a credit. That's just not how it works in general. It's definitely not how it works with us. Because this individual didn't understand that, they were in turn dissatisfied with our service, and so they asked to cancel. They still felt like they had a couple of free pickups, so I said, hey, no problem. I went ahead and refunded the last payment we had gotten from them, even though they were behind again. We emptied out their final load, which was an unpaid one, and just took the can back. I'm finding that it's not a big deal anymore when someone cancels or when someone just doesn't understand how our business works. It's one of those things where, you know, at the end of the day, if they're not happy, I'm not going to try and sit there and explain, well, this is why we're right and this is why you're mistaken in how this works. It's not going to help anything. Just process the cancellation. I always try and give them a refund so that they end up getting some free service. That way you can say, you know, when we heard you were dissatisfied, we did everything we could to make it right. We emptied the can like you liked, and we gave you your money back so that you had 2, 3, 4 weeks of free pickup on us. Sorry things didn't work out. Thanks for giving us a try. At the end of the day, even though there is some feeling of, well, I shouldn't have to do that because I was in the right, it just doesn't matter. It's not worth the headache. Being right is not worth dealing with an issue with a customer who's upset because they didn't understand something about the way the service worked. This was a new customer. Waste Management actually allowed them to sign up online, took their money, and when the customer called to figure out when they were going to get their can, Waste Management, the customer service rep who they talked to, said, yeah, we don't service your area. So they had all this trash that they were expecting to get picked up that was just sitting by the road. So then they reached out to us and said, yeah, we're more than happy to get you on the schedule. So we dropped off 2 cans for them, and then we did like a little extra charge for the additional trash that they had. We made it to Kid City, USA. See, look how good these tires look. That's nice. But yeah, I definitely got some on the rotors. So that's not ideal. Oh well, what are you gonna do? So I got about 7 minutes to set up before the kids come out, and we're gonna have a couple of different batches of kids of varying age levels. I think some of the younger ones we're just gonna take pictures, or I'm not going to, that would be weird. A couple people saw that I went to Briceville Elementary, and this one in another group said, hey, will you come out for our things? Of course, yeah. But one of the things I lamented at that last one I did was that I didn't have enough time to get the kids stickers. But since I knew about these a little bit sooner than last minute, I was able to get some holographic stickers. So probably won't give these out here except for the VPK kids. A 2-year-old doesn't need a sticker. They'll probably eat it more than anything. But tomorrow I think we're going to be seeing about 180 kids. Hey, are you with Carissa?
Yes.
I'm Brad.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for setting this up.
Of course, absolutely.
Are you okay with them taking turns to operate the tipper? What you're going to do is pull it out, and I'm going to help you. So we'll pull it out. See how you're lifting it up? Yep, you got it. Now we put, no, that'll stop everything. You can do it if you want. Go ahead and push it. Yep. So it's an emergency stop, so that just stops everything. It doesn't make anything break. But now go ahead and push this in. Good job. Perfect, you're a natural. Good job, buddy, thanks.
All right, Grayson, come back now.
This Kid City USA event, it was really nice. The younger kids all the folks who were working there, they did everything. They wheeled them out or walked them out and took pictures of them. They got a bunch of snapshots of them in the trash can by the trash truck. And there was only one class that had, I think, like 9 or 10 kids that, you know, I did my little spiel with. And it was nice that it was so small. I was able to let each and every one of them run the tipper on the trash can because there were so few of them. Something like the upcoming elementary school event where there's 180, there's just not enough time. I don't think it was filming, but I asked the young lady who organized this if you could do some posts about this, because I think this is a service that I'm happy to offer for the community, but it's just nobody really thinks about it. Hopefully we get some more requests in the local community for stuff like this, because I think it is, these kids, they just love this thing so much. I have no clue why, right? But they really like seeing the truck and seeing it operate, and, you know, coming to run the tipper. They just can't get enough of it. So like I said, if just for a couple bucks and stickers and some time, free labor, and a little bit of gas, you can make some kids happy, that's worth it to me. So that's all we're doing today. Probably just going to leave everything the way it is so that Friday we can just roll up to the next event. But now we have to go to that school and drop off the background check form. Standing's fine. Nom 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 nom. Did you hear that? I think that trash can might be alive. How's everybody doing? Come on, slide over this way so you get a good view. Keep on coming, keep on coming. I want to make sure you guys can see everything. All right, guys, so it's pretty obvious what I do, right? I'm a firefighter, and this is my fire truck. Is that right? No. Oh, what am I? A dynamite. That's right. You guys are smart. They told me you were smart. And what is this? A dynamite. And what goes in here? That's right. Very smart. I think he's alive. I don't know. So when people fill these up with trash, we go to their house and we empty them. This right here lifts the trash can for me, so I don't have to do any work. Do you see this little pocket right here? That hook right here lifts it up, so I don't have to do anything. So I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to turn the truck on, and you can see how all this trash gets in. I'll be right back. So it makes it really easy for me because I don't have to touch the trash. I just move the can over here, and I pull this lever, and it lifts everything up. Then gravity, all the trash falls down, and then I bring the trash can down, and I get it out of the way. So now the trash is out of the can, and it's in this part of the truck. This is called the hopper. I have to get it from the hopper into the body because this fills up, and I won't be able to get more trash cans. So that's what these two things do, is once the hopper's full, they move the trash into the body. And this is what we do all day long. We empty the trash can in, then we run the slide and the packer. That's what these two things are called, to get everything in. And as the day goes on, we just mash more and more and more trash in there. We smash it all in. That's how the trash gets in the body. Now, how do we get rid of it at the landfill when we're full? Does anybody know? You got it. So I'm going to show you how that works, but I need to tell you what's going to happen first. This entire tailgate is going to raise up in the air. When it does, there's going to be a loud alarm buzzing that is going to be going on until I get it to the top. Then I'm going to shut the truck off so the noise will go away and we can talk. But it's very important that you do not cross this red tape. You understand? All right, I'm going to go ahead and lift it up. So very, very important, never, ever, 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 ever walk underneath this. If something breaks, it could fall down very quickly and smush you. That would not be good, right? So this is the inside of the trash truck. This is where all the trash is at the end of the day. And that back wall is called an ejector blade. It pushes forward, and it just pushes all the trash that's inside out, and it just falls out here. Then we do that at the landfill, which is a big mountain where all the trash is, and then they've got big dozers that just smash it all, and they just keep building the mountain taller and taller and taller, and it's nothing but trash. Some of the tallest places in Florida are landfills because of how tall they get. But anyways, that's how we empty the trash at the end of the day. So I'm going to lower this down, same thing. You're going to hear the buzz, and you got to stay behind the red tape, okay? Nobody try and jump in there. That'd be very bad. All right, what do you guys think?
Good.
Did you think there was going to be trash all inside of it when I opened it up?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty stinky, wouldn't it? All right, so it is Saturday. We got about 10 minutes before people, well, I don't know if anybody's showing up at all, but so we're going to put the truck here. I think we're going to raise the back up. This is a nice main road where there should be a lot of folks who see the truck and see what's going on. I think I'll do this caddy corner somehow. I guess first I probably need to figure that out in case somebody does come. All right, let's see how this looks. I mean, aside from the sun being in your eyes as you're driving, yeah, it could be bigger, but what are you gonna do?
Are you set up yet?
I am! All right, so we got one down. 232 to go. So it's Sunday and we're back up here. We did have 2 people immediately show up, but since we've had so few people, I didn't even bring the garbage truck. But we're only gonna be up here for a couple hours, so we'll see how today works out. What a good family I have. Charlie, Grayson, Mama, they're all here supporting me in this complete waste of time. We still have 45 minutes to go and no one else has come. We're not doing this again next year. You ready to go home, buddy?
Yes.
Me too. 4 p.m. We're done. Thanks, McClenny Mower and Saw. As far as I can tell, this was a complete waste of time. I still would have done it. I had to figure out if this was something worth doing long term, and I don't think it is. I will say, I think the only advantage to something like this is that I can say, if you care about your end of the year gift and you want to make sure you get it, come to this location. You know, we'll be there for 2 hours on Sunday. I would probably do this again one day for a few hours. I think I'd be okay with that. I want to say the first day we had 6 or 7 people, and then today we had 3. So we probably had 5% of our customers come to this event, and we spent 8 hours at that location. So, you know, that's not very good time. Now I will say, the people who I got to talk to, it was really nice to actually put a face to a name, and the people who came, they seemed super appreciative, not only of the gift, but of our service too, which was really nice. So it was worth it in that aspect. This one was an interesting one. It was a client who had moved out. We just left the can there in case the new folks wanted to start service with us. The place was being renovated, so we found some construction debris in the can after a few weeks. And now it's like, I think a month and a half since the guy canceled. I went and knocked on the door. We've got some stops nearby, so when we were servicing them, I went and knocked on the door to try and get somebody. Nobody answered, so I left door hangers on the can and on the door of the house. And another 3 weeks later, nobody had called, but they were still filling up our trash can. So this was kind of an awkward one where I just had to show up and, you know, empty it out and take the can back. At this point, you know, after somebody living there a month, I don't think you can really say there's confusion about how trash works. If they genuinely thought it would have been picked up and it hadn't been in 3 or 4 weeks, any reasonable person would have called and said, hey, your number's on the side of my trash can, but you guys haven't emptied it. You know, what's the process on that? So I'm fairly certain in saying this is somebody who just wasn't interested in our service, even though I was never able to actually talk to anyone there. But it's no longer a big deal for me to go empty out somebody's trash can to get the trash can back. The first few times I had to do it a year and a half ago, I was like, this isn't right. I shouldn't have to empty this trash. Now it's just like, yeah, whatever. Spend 5 minutes emptying the trash can out, leave it all bagged up, and get your can and move on with your life, you big sissy. There's our neatly bagged trash. And dawns on me now, 2 days through this process, you might actually like to see what I'm doing. So these are the tins of cookies we get from Costco. We've got dumb little jokes. We've got magnets. We put those all together. We put them in these little generic thank you bags, and this is what I've been tying onto their trash can. And then we just stuff as many as we can in the truck. And we're also using the minimizer toolbox too. I got a bag to make sure nothing nasty gets on them. We just shove them in there. And then we fit as many as we can behind the seats, which is not a huge amount, but I think we should be able to get at least 50 in today. I've been putting like a half dozen on the dash as well, which obviously isn't the safest thing to do, but we've got cookies to deliver. So that is the busiest chunk of days we've had in a long time for the trash pickup business. Hopefully things slow down and mellow back out a little bit, but we'll see. And as always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.